Everybody, welcome to today's 1 Million by 1 Million Strategy Roundtable for Entrepreneurs. I know the mission of the 1 Million by 1 Million program is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, build $1 trillion in global GDP, and 10 million jobs. That's why we're all here, coming on a Thursday morning, as we do pretty much every week. And we've done for 190 times before this. So you can imagine this is a tried and true model where lots of entrepreneurs are coming and discussing their issues with their ventures. And that's precisely what we're going to do today. It is being recorded. You will have a recording available both on our blog, on the 1M site, as well as on our YouTube channel. And I will give you the URL and everything in a moment. Now, one announcement. A new book out from the 1M team. It's called 99% Entrepreneurs: Fortune in the Middle of the Pyramid. So some of you have read my writings on this subject, and this book is a collection of writings, essays on the subject, as well as some entrepreneur journeys interviews following the format of the entire entrepreneur journeys series that we've published so far. So the book is available on Kindle, so you could either get it on a Kindle device or you can get it on the Kindle app on your smartphone. Do check it out, and also free to review it on Kindle. It's always helpful to see what readers think. Our Twitter accounts are at 1M by 1M and at Sramana if you're following us. And if you're live tweeting the show today, please use the hashtag 1M1M. The channel where you will find this recording as well as a lot of previous recordings is 1M1M Roundtables. There's tons of material, tons of content on that site. And we're going to do 5 presentations, I believe, today, so it's a pretty packed session. And depending on how much time we have at the end of the show, we're going to offer you a call-in time, and the number for that is 650-479-3208, and the access code is 663-893-138. So, Nizamuddin, if you would unmute your line and tell us what Events Tiger is, that would be great.
Thank you, ma'am.
Go ahead.
So Events Tiger is all about, we are trying to bring up a platform where people can network online, which is related to event market. What we try to do here is, I don't know, like there is event industry is completely crowded, but it is fully of unorganized. So what we do is we are trying our best to organize it in a better way that we can find opportunities, and those who are organizing an event, they can find the resources that require online, and also they can promote online, and all other resources can also get opportunity to eventstriker.com. So this is going to be a one-stop platform for all event requirements. That is what we are trying to come up with, and we are, yeah, ma'am.
One piece of feedback before you go on. Never put body of text like this on a slide. That is not what slides are for. Slides are supposed to have a minimum amount of text in bullet points. This, what you put on the slide right now, what you put on the screen, is of use to anybody because no one can read it.
Okay, thank you. Bear in mind, next presentation. So what, you can see?
Yeah, please go ahead.
So our main vision is to.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Yeah, our vision is to organize. As I already mentioned, our vision is to organize this crowded and unorganized event industry. So keeping that in mind, we started this eventstriker.com, and our team is. I have a company, an Indo-German company, software, which is already funded to my eventstriker.com, and in the advisory board we have Nandini Vaidyanathan, which is who is ex-CEO of UTV Entertainment in India. So right now we have released up portal a couple of weeks ago, and we are getting good responses. Like people are coming there and putting their events online, and they start selling through. Through tickets online. And the best thing with events taker, if say that if you come to online, if you're going to attend an event, so the main motive of attending an event is always like networking. You need to find networks and you need to create networks. So that is why we offer by making Tiger as a platform where everyone can join for an event. So before they go to attend an event, they can find who is coming and they can interact with them, they can network with them, and also plan, for an appointment or exchange weeks with them. So this is how it goes before an event. And time of event, we have trackers inside. So once once an event is going on, we can see like where actually the person who met already through eventstriker.com is located, and there as already they have discussed to meet sometime in some places, and they can meet at the time of event, and they can even be in touch after the event also. This is how this networking goes through eventstriker.com, and we aimed it as a socialize. So instead of being just attending an event, so we make investing on events as something like beneficial even after attending some events. And our main targeted people are all event organizers and runners, and we also look into event attendees who would like to attend events from different cities and categories. And also we are looking, our targeted customers are even management companies of whom they can create their public profiles in eventstriker.com, and also can be promoted to through city or we differentiate it as different interests. So if I create a profile in eventstriker.com, I'll be putting some interest upon my choice. So if I say that in a startup or entrepreneurship as my event, so my interest. So in my personal wall, I'll be getting updates based on different entrepreneurial events and startup events. So that will be flowing through wall. So it's easy for me to categorize it based on my interest. At the same time, as event organizers or even management companies, they can target the audience very easily through eventstriker.com. That is how it is going to be.
Expecting at your portal.
Yeah, hanging out. We don't want this to be something like a static, like how Eventbrite does. We just want it to be like a real-time portal where even the normal user can create their private events, like a public birthday parties or their kitty parties or anything, and can invite.
And who pays?
Sorry.
Who pays? How do you monetize this?
We have a couple of revenue streams, like we act as a B2B site instead of B2B. Sorry, B side instead of B2C, where we find a customized. As I already mentioned, like we have promotional plans for each event, and we make money through those promotions.
You stopped or got cut off. I don't know what's going on. So, Nizamuddin, you seem to have got disconnected. I will give you some feedback, and you can listen to this in the recording later. Observation is that if you're trying to build another portal and you're competing for people's time to come and hang out on your portal, that is very difficult. Already have to keep up with a lot of portals. They have to hang out on Facebook, to hang out on LinkedIn, they have to hang out on Twitter, and now you're asking them to hang out on another portal. I'm not so comfortable with that assumption, and how many people are going to do that. And if you're predicating a lot of your business on that assumption, I think that there's a problem. Are you online, Nizamuddin? Okay, the call is disconnected. We are going to move on to the next one. person is Narayan.
Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much for all your services and your knowledge and experience to help the entrepreneurs. We appreciate your efforts. You are able to hear me now.
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Go ahead.
I have been in media and software industry for quite some time, and we started almost a decade ago an exchange for television advertising sales. As more cable channels were coming up, thought there is an opportunity to sell the remnant advertising on television and radio. That was an established business and hard to penetrate. And we started looking more into how to augment with new media and build a network, different media channels, and at the marketplace, kind of like Expedia for media. So, Allshare Journal, that's the portal through which one can build a network. I can move on to the next slide. And over the last 10, 12 years, as the new media has taken hold, there is more and more media explosion with more everywhere. But revenue seems to be an elusive thing for a lot of ventures that start up with only advertising as a revenue model. It is hard to retain audience for established traditional media players with the new content, so to keep the advertisers and ad sales people.
Yep. So that's the issue. The issue is that there is a tremendous, this is a competitive market. There's a lot of people doing ad networks and selling ads and so on and so forth. How do you come into this highly crowded market and create a position?
Sure. It is a big market. It's $250 billion market and continues to be an efficient market in terms of advertisements that you see on a daily basis. You see it in wrong places. So it appears to be still room for efficiency. And it increases content and inventory without having to add headcounts to the companies. Media companies are cutting short of people and need to continue to expand their content and add inventory.
Yeah.
And the new
model.
Me?
That is network business model.
Sure. And help new and higher paying advertisers at a lower cost of sales. That is a need. And what we provide is to build higher paying cross-channel media network, vertical media networks, as opposed to just online media networks. Most networks are online networks. They are not necessarily offline. So I believe that the consumers are consuming all kinds of media. In 9 hours of waking hours, 9 or 10 hours, we consume different types of media. Online is only a small part of it. Still a large chunk of cross-channel media we consume. So sales is what makes media a business. Provide a niche sales platform and tech-savvy sales support team to make sure that the media companies that come into existence thrive, leverage our platform and services. The platform works is we create brand networks. Showing on the left-hand side, it starts with the publishers coming into a cooperative mode for different styles. For I speak Bengali language. Have a Legion of Bengali network that can adequately advertise not only as a national brand or a local regional distributor, a retailer, service providers. Have one national or international Bengali network. There are several cable channels, several web portals. There are several events. There are kinds of media that outer media that exists, media that exists, that have been connected together, and that generally aggregated just in time for an either by an ad agency.
Okay.
Inefficiency in that process, and it has to be done in a timely manner. Free aggregated network for lifestyles across different media
media sales solution we provide and the marketing automation solution we provide will be in the industry and the play on both sides.
When you plan to start, this could go any number of different directions, right? Each of these verticals, or not just vertical, it's location, it's language. There are all sorts of nuances to a particular cluster of media that you could package up. And where do you want to start? Do you start with business? Do you start with regional language? Where is your entry point?
It is like building a necklace. We start with a pendant and bring the beads together to make a network. The pendant could be any language, in any interest, any style. We start with the ones that we have access to right now, which is, for example, if you look at India Currents, which is a local magazine in California, and is big enough media for reaching the Indian community in the Bay Area. With them, any other cable channels and other portals and associations that sound the Indian community, big quotations in USA Media Network.
Yes.
That includes offline media and online media, both as events and other types of media, point of purchase, and many media that connects to this lifestyle. Now we start as a rep firm representing and helping the sellers of media to own their sales through collaborative sales. Tools and platforms is just like a shopping mall. You build a mall and you bring the sellers to the marketplace. It is community and commerce, as always. In such number of people who have inventory to let their marketing budget to reach out to the customers.
Okay.
So I can show a demo of, you can look at okku.com, which is a community network. We could also do for biologies. We can do truckers network for truck lifestyle. That is 4 million people that consume all kinds of media. It could be health network. That is a huge network of just $1 billion acting budget. Healthcare, even if they put 1%, 5%, it's a huge market for prevention. That could serve the health network. And solution rep firms who are our competition, who are at a tipping point of needing more platform and tools. In the past, the competition like Spartan that had raised $150 million for local sales, started with a creative library to begin with. They were embroiled in lawsuits and they raised a lot of money, but did not necessarily succeed well. 35 was a success in the ad network business on the side, and they were sold for $3 billion. Probably as much transaction as we have now.
There are lots of other ones as well, right? There are the vertical ad networks like Glam Media, Travel Ad Network, Federal Media, and so forth. They play in exactly the same space.
They are Glam Media and all. They are individual vertical networks, but they don't necessarily for the platform and tools for cross-channel media.
In that space, in the vertical that they cater to, they are in that vertical. So they are part of your competitive landscape for sure.
So there are plenty of ad networks, online ad networks, but they are necessarily incorporating television, radio, cable, print, outdoor, any of these other types of media.
That is true.
Right. So we provide is a network management fee is to license a platform for anybody who wants to build a network, and we take in as much as 10% to 20% of the transaction cost for depending on the medias or the communities. And if you are facilitating ad sales, we can anywhere get from 5 to 25% of the transaction fee. I also draw $800 per person on for retail fee to engage people, and we currently do with some of the media companies. because we team in India currently working on this basis that level platform and sell on behalf of the international media companies, and they're bridging that relationship to build networks.
And what networks are using your platform right now? And what?
We have two sides of the platform. One is the buying side and the selling side. On the side, we are working with State of Georgia for fairly ad campaigns. Like Click It or Ticket, you have seen those ad campaigns where, such as Seatbelt, Don't Drink and Drive. One of the two exclusive agencies for media buying in the state of Georgia and do about $2 million in media buying.
Mm-hmm.
And our platform for the buying side. Selling side, we have the South Asians in USA is a network that we created to test our platform, and we have companies like India, media companies like India Currents, and few channels are coming on board for us on television side, and many associations and smaller media publications in other parts of the country that are part of this network.
Okay.
A platform that people can just license those CRM tools and give us licensing revenue for our platform and tools. And the most important thing we also have is a share capability where content can share across the network, across with through line social media. We run about $25 million transactions that have passed through our system. And we have a team that includes Mr. Buffpam, who Stanford grad and was the head of the ad sales for Univision Network.
Where are you located?
Atlanta, and an office in India.
Okay. What's the revenue level currently?
We do about $2.5 million in transactions, and we take anywhere from 5 to 10% of this, up to 5% in some cases of the transaction fees. And for the most
$1,000 revenue now?
To $200,000 we make per year in revenue. That is helping us support our platform and also to organically.
You've been in business?
For more than 10 years now. With television side.
For more than 10 years?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
We not exactly start with the idea of creating ad networks, but we want to start a media exchange, ad sales exchange, and then slowly incorporate tools for the selling side in the last 5 to 6 years.
So, the 10-year-old company that's doing $200,000 or in revenue, going out to raise money, what is your pitch? What are you going to tell the investors that why do you seek financing now? Adify was a company that came into being in the 2007, 2008 time frame and got acquired by about 2010, if I recall correctly.
They came in 2005 and acquired in 2008.
Yeah, so it's it's kind of like an old story. So we're kind of coming with a similar business model, except with a broader selection of media, but a much less mature store on the side. So if you put on the hat of an investor, what is pitch? Why is an investor investing in $2 million in this company now?
That the media will continue to fragment with new types of media, and the advertisers continue to have a need for target advertising. And the traditional methods of targeting will not be sufficient because the media is not the only media that people consume. Everyone will have control over every media.
You grow faster. What's stopping you from growing faster organically? You have revenues, you have customers, you seem to have you have a business that's been going for a long time. Why aren't you growing faster?
That's a question I would like to ask myself. The challenge really is that I have to maintain a development team, and there's a burn rate I have to sustain. And also I have to build a sales and marketing team at the same time, and the existing customers, and that is a challenge as a company based in Atlanta. If I were in New York or California, I would have been in a different situation. And I put enough time to doing fundraising. I didn't even attempt to do fundraising in these last few years until we had the foothold, efficient transaction, and the ability to sustain organically ourselves.
I suspect you're going to have to go further organically to be able to convince investors that this is efficient, growth built in to be able to venture style company. Because I think what investors get nervous about is it's something that has gone on for a long time, and it's just growth kind of business. And there are timing issues here. I ask you all these questions that I'm asking you about Adify and Glam and so forth. I mean, these are businesses that have been going for a long time. What is the justification of coming into this market now in 2013 and so on and so forth? So you need to. I'm not saying that those cannot be answered. Those questions can be answered, but you're going to need to have a compelling set of answers to those questions to convince investors.
It's a good input, and of course the market is growing internationally and through niche communities. The ethnic market here is going to be a growing market in the future. If you take Hispanic, Indian, any other community, and they don't happen to have.
Right now, this presentation does not have any of those nuances in it. So you're not making a strong presentation here. This presentation is not going to help you raise funding. So to improve the presentation and improve the story on which you may be able to raise funding, but this story is not going to cut it.
Okay. Any input?
Lots of input, but I have to unfortunately move on to. I have 3 other people that I need to work with, so that's all time for at this moment.
Thanks, Tom.
I will tell you more about how to work with 1 million by 1 million later on in the presentation.
Yeah. Thank you. Have a nice day.
You're welcome. You're up next. Is Michael? Oh, did I skip through Anna? Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. Hi there.
Oh, okay. There.
That's me.
You have a cover slide here. Go ahead, Yana.
Okay, it's my turn, right? I'm not taking someone else's turn.
Absolutely your turn. Go ahead.
Great. So I have a startup called Swipe, and we have built a daily planner for organizing tasks. And on the picture, that's my team. I'm dealing with business, and Casper is dealing with engineering, and Stephanie is dealing with design. We are quite young, and we are gathering a lot of experiences to doing this startup right now. We're based in Denmark at the moment, but we would really like to go to an accelerator in the States. That's kind of our goal that we want to present. So our product at the moment is an iOS app, and we are expanding it further also to app. We are going to launch it in October. We're living in a very, very tough market for productivity tools, and vision is very, very, very hard to stand out and to let know people that you exist out there. So we actually launched the iOS app with the idea that we want to prove some kind of proof of concept that it's worth to this market. And we got that without much of marketing activities, and we don't have a marketing budget, but managed to get worldwide in a couple of months, just through mouth. We were featured on the app stores in different countries, and people really enjoyed the product. So that encouraged us to go further with it. And as a target group, we have appealing offering to people who are more into the productivity, daily productivity, how to improve their performance, how to be more efficient, and also the ones who are very into the DTD technique, getting things done, which is hardcore geeks.
How many downloads have you had so far, and what does the competition look like in your space on the App Store?
So far we have 40,000 users. So these are users that have signed in. We have around 60,000 downloads, something like that, because we require sign up, and a lot of people wouldn't to sign up for an app that we haven't tried in advance.
But 40,000 is good, and these are free users though?
They're free users at the moment, and on the later stage I'm going to explain you about the business model that we're launching the paid app in a couple of weeks actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So the competition on the market, we have Wunderlist, which has a couple of million users, around 4.5. We have Nidu, which are also doing very well. They have also a couple of million users. Clear is a very popular app, and those are more like direct competitors. More directly, they're more hardcore as things, and OmniFocus, which are very specialized into serving professionals. They have complicated systems that you have to get used to using. So position ourselves more or less somewhere in between those tools. We don't want to be too simple, and we want to lack the functionalities, the main functionalities. So we want to enable people to do what they want to do in their task manager, but not have a complicated system that they takes for them to adapt as a procedure and habit to use.
Okay.
So our app is really intuitive to use, and that's what we hear all over from everyone, all the users that are writing reviews and sending us feedback. That's the main value proposition. It's so easy to. It doesn't take the time that they usually use on it. They use it on actually working instead of integrating in an app.
What are you hearing from these 40,000 registered users about their willingness to pay? What are they willing to pay for?
So we did a trial in the app, in the version that's out right now. Put a teaser of the upcoming paid features. So all the users can give us a feedback on their preference. Have around 1,500 to 2,000 users who have chosen preferred plan they would like to pay for, and we have a lot of people who are writing that they would like to pay one-time fee payment, and others are really happy that they would like to pay much more than the current subscription. It's going to be $1 per month. So we are going to know more when we launch it. We did this initial testing, but our estimates are around 2 to 5% of the current users. We can convert them in the first month into paying users. So that's our goal at the moment.
At the threshold of $1 a month or a $12, $10 a year kind of payment, is that what you're saying, or $10 flat? What are you thinking?
It's for a year. It's a subscription, because we decided that although there are ongoing costs to maintain the app, and although the market apps is very disturbed because people are not used to pay for apps, they would require everything to get it for free or just to pay one-time payment. We decided that if we would like to try to make it subscription, to make it more sustainable and deliver value that people can see time and they could remain as users. So it's an experiment in this market for a very low price, affordable price for everyone, to do instead of flat rate subscription model.
So the problem with your market opportunity slide here, Jana, is that this is kind of a bottom-up market opportunity slide, which is not really very useful for investors. What investors tend to look for is whether your bottom-up market analysis is large. And here talking about, let's say $1 a month, even with 1 million paying users, that's going to be $12 million a year business, and that's not a fundable business.
True, that's absolutely true.
So you
we have another business model that hope that would be the business model that will appear to. So with this business model, we are not targeting to get an investment because, as you said, it's not realistic to do so. And if we manage to get to grow to some extent, we could sell ourselves.
Jana, I personally do not care whether you raise money or not, as long as you build a business. As long as there is customers, there's revenues, and there is profits, as far as I'm concerned, you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. I don't care whether you raise money or not. But you have to understand certain dynamics of the industry. The accelerators that you want to get into will not take you unless you're a fundable business, because their business model is dependent upon funding.
That's absolutely true. We try to be more appealing to accelerators through the next business proposition that we have, and that's a pro version of the app, and it's $5 to $10 per user, and it's for team collaborations. So that's our proposition to get investment and into accelerators, and we need to put that into the slides, obviously, to make it apparent.
Again, that also is a crowded market, so that has its own dynamics. That has its own set of dynamics as far as competitive landscape is concerned, distribution channel is concerned, and so on and so forth. So that's so far you do not have the business plan for that.
How would you advise us then to present it in a better way?
You need to validate that market, and you're talking about two different businesses. You have one app business where 40,000 users, and some of these users are willing to pay. So this is good because this is validated business. It is starting to become a validated business, and conceivably you can grow that business and show growth metrics reasonably soon. If you want to fund the other business, if you want the other business to be taken seriously, you're going to have to get to something like that in the other business as well.
That's our goal as well. We're planning on dealing with this in around November, build a prototype of the product just to try out, and we're not looking to take investment before we have validated the business potential of the bigger business that could actually pay off. Because a $1 business, we don't believe that we can take an investment that we could pay off.
It depends on how much growth you can get. I mean, $1 business, if you can get 100,000 users, 100,000 paying users, that's $1,000 a month. That's not a bad business. That's
yes, that's
you
true.
get those numbers, then you can fund the the B2B business with your organic money, and you can go, and if it has enough traction, then you can raise money and all of this stuff. But in the sense that I don't want you to ignore the product that you've built and the investment that you've already made in business, in the C business, which is actually starting to get to a point where it will start monetizing. You've already got 40,000 users. You actually know how to get an app store product up and running and generating. So don't give on that.
We will not. Maybe Scott can say something more about our plans around our version. He's also on the chat with me.
Yeah, I was making some stuff on email, so we wasn't working, so I joined the call at the start. Basically, we this because what we believe in is that we can deliver a product that kind of like does what the users want in terms of how it works. The whole thing started by us needing a tool for collaborating in a project. We were building something else, and we set off to do that, and that's why we first off have made the business to consumer kind of like case, because we thought, well, we need to learn a way, because otherwise we don't have we're pretty young people, and we wouldn't have kind of like the knowledge to get to where we want to go.
To the big market.
So like build a prototype, which is the way we've done it with everything. This one we made in 2 months. From it to we launched it in the App Store and went to the next web and all that. It took us from idea to a live product was less than 2 months. So we were kind of really fast at building stuff. That's the approach that we're going to take as well. As soon as we kind of like have that with validation for this very like.
The problem with product is not so much the building of it, it's sales model, because in the App Store with the B2C model, people download their products, they pay for it themselves if they decide to pay for it. In a B2B model, there is more complexity. If you need to buy it for an entire team, who is paying, how is the distribution happening, how do the installations happen, what is the sales model, there is more complexity in there. Absolutely.
So kind of like where we wanted to start off, like we want to target startups. So I'm a facilitator for Startup Weekend, and we have been talking with them around how to get a global sponsor, which means we will give, I don't know if you know Startup Weekend, but every Startup Weekend team around the world offer for free for the first.
If I were you, since you already to get the B2C product in the hands of people through the App Store, I would focus on that and get business up to $100,000 a month.
Okay, so keep persisting
on
that.
As far as concerned, they just use the Plus product. They don't need a Pro product. They can get with a Plus product.
Yeah.
So, and my point is, you should try to get to a high cash situation, existing product where the assumptions are already validated in a simple path to growth.
Okay.
Because if you have that cash in place, and if you have a product in the market that is high visibility and is being actively used, getting to the next level is going to become a lot easier. Right now, if you try to do both, you're going to give up on the opportunity of the Plus product.
Yeah, I think you have a really good point, because if we actually look at what the Wunderlist guys did, they first to do that collaboration, and then they did the consumer product, and then they actually ended up both of them.
The Microsoft Pro, especially if you're going to a B2B route, are very different than a B2C product on the App Store.
I think it's a really, really valid point.
Absolutely, and besides, we are a very small team, and it's gonna take a lot of resources to scale. We have already, and take even more to a new market, as you said.
Yep. If you hang on, I will talk to you more about. Let me finish working with the other two others, and then I'll talk more about how we can help you further.
Thank you, and good luck to the other guys. Bye.
Bye. Talk to you later.
Good night.
Yes. Hi, Sramana. Nice to meet you. Let me just.
Where are you calling from, Mike?
I'm calling from London.
Okay.
And where are you? Are you in America?
Yes, I'm in Silicon Valley.
I used to live there. Which
in
town? Okay, I have a house in Petaluma.
Hey,
Anyway, yeah, let's get my notes going here. So, as you can see, my name is Max Anderson, and I am the founder of ExtendedRelative.com. Slide, please. Relative is a social network for families who need help with domestic tasks and want to strengthen their connections with their local communities. 70% of working UK families, no, not next slide yet, I'll say next slide. Can you go back? Can you go back a slide?
already gone back.
No, third slide. Thank you. 70% of working UK parents are finding it increasingly difficult to find reliable and affordable childcare and other domestic help. Now, the next slide. Next. Our mission is to create a 21st century world where we support communities to flourish in a spirit of trusted exchange and service. Slide. What are different challenges of working families? Well, basically, the research that we did from talking to single parents working families is that they are generally suffering from a shortage of money, shortage of time. What are they most desperate for? Well, they're looking for support and connection with a trusted community, looking for a safe community network where people will keep to their commitments, and looking for modern money-saving systems and solutions. What is extended relative and how does it work? Well, we like to say at its core, it's a skilling and accounting tool. And at heart, it's a community of people wanting to connect with their neighbours, to help them out, to support each other, to make new friends, and to share activities. What is the target market? Well, there are 20 million families in the UK with at least one child. And there are 2 million single-parent families. If we was 1% of those groupings, we could get high returns. And I can talk a bit about the model, but basically the freemium model range from £0 up to £60 for the full package. Next slide. Actually, no, let's go back. Well, I can leave it there. How does extended relative make money? We're going to either charge £50 a month or £60 a year. And can also, the more popularity we get, we can do more targeted advertising. We also hope to collaborate with other groups who want a scheduling and accounting tool. The database we built is quite robust, and we've already had some interest in a charity that would like to use it for some of their work that they want to scale across the country. What's the market research we've done? Well, I've been to some PTA conferences in the UK. I've worked with a couple of social welfare charities, and they've discussed how they would like to use our scheduling and accounting tool. And I've talked to various focus groups of members. You can see from these quotes from two newspapers, UK family debts are by 50% in a year, and the typical UK family owes about £8,000. So everyone's very short of money, and also being stretched quite hard at work. And families feel the burden of debt. UK debt mountain in the UK of £100 billion. Next. Who are our competitors? Well, there's a bit of a story here, but like I just said, I lived in Silicon Valley for 20 years, so I'm very familiar with them. A lot of these websites are American. Babysitter Exchange, Sit Around, and I think Mitra are American. So I got the idea when I was in America. When I came here, I've already found that there's nothing similar. In America, there is such a thing called a babysitting co-op, where mothers help each other out and they exchange tokens such as, I don't know, a pencil or something, and they keep track of things in an Excel spreadsheet. But this idea is to basically put it all on the computer. There's very little competition in the UK at all. There's also another group of websites we call paid task services, so TaskHub, Care.com, and TaskRabbit. I'm quite happy to discuss how we are different from that. So again, I don't feel that they are competitors. There was one competitor I found in the UK. No, not next slide yet. You can go back. There's one competitor I found in the UK, but I met up with him, and he's sort of run out of money and run out of interest, and he's actually quite happy to share his connections with me, and that was called favorbank.co.uk. So next slide.
Why fail?
His wife had twins, and he just sort of ran out of the ability to keep funding it. He had to go back and get a regular job. I met up with him. I reached out to him. I met up with him. Went out for a drink with him actually. And we just made a good connection. And he still is passionate about it, but he says I've just got to pay the bills. Next slide. So we need. I mean, really, in terms of what we could. Minimums we can get away. We could do with is £40,000. Immediately, I put £10,000 towards a mobile app, which is part of my commitment to make this thing 21st century. £10,000 is to cover the remaining costs for 2013. £10,000 for version 2 of the site and branding of the site. It is built. It does work. It could some rebranding and £10,000 for marketing and PR. It's at the end of the presentation, but I noticed you haven't asked me any questions yet, and I'd love to hear some questions.
To get it off the ground, do you have £40,000 to get this off the ground? The idea,
yes.
But the problem with our market is that ideas are a dime a dozen. Can you also the guy you met who tried to do this also had the idea but couldn't execute on it? So the question is, can you execute on it?
Yeah, right now I am just paying for it myself. I have a couple of properties in America which gives me sort of passive income, so I am able to fund it at very much at a grassroots level. I've got a couple of people working with me that are on minimum wage, but they're very committed to the idea. So I'm keeping my costs way down. Yes, I could keep going with this, but I'm looking for accelerators to get into to sort of turbocharge the project really, and to improve the connections. It is. I'm obviously pitching other accelerators as well. We are planning to do a launch in a small town called Brighton, which is quite progressive. It's like a sort of mini San Francisco, and we're going to pitch down there. We're going to launch down there, and we've got some good marketing and PR happening down there right now. So that'll give us some good data to support our pitches to other accelerators.
Our philosophy on all of these businesses is, especially these consumer internet kind of businesses, is that there are lots of good ideas. I think your idea is a perfectly good one, and my take on it is to try to get a critical mass going as soon as possible and start monetizing as soon as possible. I mean, these kinds of businesses, if you can, once people start finding it useful, they will actually be perfectly willing to pay for it. They will subscribe. If it's like $5 a month, £5 a month or something, they would be willing to subscribe to it. And I suspect you can really quickly get into a weighted cash generating mode. But there's a startup, smaller startup capital that you will have to pull together yourself. And you said that you were comfortable doing that, so.
Relatively comfortable.
If you're looking for money, adoption cannot be accelerated. You have to do what you have to do. Accelerate market adoption.
Right, that's right. And in terms of that, yes, I certainly think that I'm kind of following the meetup.com model where, people do pay Meetup if they want to create their own Meetup groups, but other people don't pay. So there's sort of two different levels, and so the idea would be that they could be the freemium level, the £0 would be for limited transactions per month, and for £5 a month, be unlimited requests and transactions. So we're sort of playing with that model. Basically, yeah.
But be in a group who need to pay, or are you just having the group organizers to pay?
Everybody in a group, but the idea would be you pay to join extended relatives.
I would make everybody pay.
Yes,
everybody
you pay
using the service should pay.
You pay an extended relative, and then you join a group.
Yeah. So I'm really not a big believer in adding a lot of free users and not monetizing. I'm very much, very much monetization.
Just clear on that. The only reason why we might well start with just some non users is we want to have them as an early adopters program, and we want to get some good feedback from them for MVP that we got there. Those people will be something like, well, it's going to be free for 6 months, and then if you like it to carry on, we'll need to start charging you.
Okay. Right. So why don't you hang on? I will spend some time talking about how our incubator works with entrepreneurs, and you can decide whether that's a good fit for you.
Yeah, thank you, Time.
Welcome. Maureen, so the next person is not coming, you're saying, yeah? So not on the call? He wants to reschedule. Okay, fine. Right, folks. In that case, we are going to move to, we will have time for Q&A. So those of you who are interested in diving into the call are welcome to do so later on in the session. Let me move on here. These are the instructions for the call-in. I'm going to spend 5-7 minutes talking about 1M, and then we can open up the line for Q&A. Even those of you who are already dialed into the call, if you want to discuss further, you can you can ask questions. So the number is 650-479-3208. Access code 663-893-138. And let us know in the public chat that you are calling in, so that we know to call for you when you're ready to speak. Now, please do not send me private messages. I'm not going to answer private messages. If you have a question, you set your public chat to send to participants, and you can put out your question in the public chat as well. I will come to it after I'm done with the next segment. So, request to all of you who are using this program and like it, please do spread the word, because our mission is to help 1 million entrepreneurs reach $1 million and beyond in annual revenue, and the only way we can do that is by working with serious entrepreneurs who have stamina and the commitment to go on with their ideas, because it takes years to build sustainable, thriving businesses. So, in terms of resources, everything that you need from us is going to be at 1mby1m.com. That's where your exploration of 1M begins. There's a blog on the site that is completely free of charge, and it's chock full of case studies and information that would help you, build your business. They have the Entrepreneur Journeys book series. There are 4 volumes plus the new one that are all available on Amazon, Kindle, internationally. And this one is a Kindle-only version. That's the other 99% book. We actually start to synthesize some of the 1M methodology in these books. Bootstrapping and positioning are 2 cornerstone elements of our business strategy, of the methodology that we follow. So you get some level of input there. And this is what the site looks like. There are lots of videos. On the homepage itself, you'll find lots of videos. These are good for you to understand how the 1M program works and to help make your decision on whether you want to use the program for your own incubation and acceleration purpose. This is our 190th roundtable. So we've been around. These free roundtables have been around for a long time. Thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs are using them. And as I said, please spread the word around and encourage your fellow entrepreneurs in your community to use it, because it is a community service. These are free sessions. So you can come and talk to me almost every week. Go to the free public roundtables page on the blog. You will be able to register and book your time slots to present. We also have a premium program for which we charge just a $1,000 annual membership fee, and we use extensive methodology guidance. We have a solid curriculum that helps you learn all the things that you need to learn in putting one foot in the other. Companies are built brick by brick, and in every step you have to make decisions, and these are business decisions. So these business decisions have a method to madness. It seems like it's all off the cuff, but it's not all off the cuff. There is serious methodology behind the art of building a company from scratch. And we teach you all that through our program. More about how we build the curriculum, what kind of support you get through it in a minute. We also deal with business development, whether it's introductions to potential customers, channel partners, investors, media, analysts, other accelerators, downstream accelerators, where you may not qualify off the bat, but if you do some work using the methodology, you would perhaps qualify. And some accelerators give a lot more money. We give you money. We connect you to sources of money, and we connect you to funding. But we are not a fund ourselves. However, we have a very deep investor network, and we help you get connected into investor networks as well. So also have this kind of format, but much deeper strategy consulting in our private roundtables that are members only. And we do a lot of help with media. You know, small companies that are just starting out have a really hard time accessing media coverage. Media coverage is essential for building your company. People have to know that you exist to want to use you, to be able to use you. That's why it's very, very important that you are able to get yourself out there and get your value proposition known so that people can start buying into that value proposition. If you go to our website, you'll meet some of our $1 Million Club members. And you will also find an ROI analysis of the 1M1M value equation. We provide $375,000 plus 5 to 10% equity worth value for just $1,000. It's an extremely, high value program, and we've kind of designed it such that it's a no-brainer. The amount of resources we provide is something that you can easily make a decision and buy. Big amount of value you can derive out of it is high compared to everything else that's out there. We want you to take the 1M1M self-assessment. It's a calibration of your own situation and the kind of questions that you would need to answer about your business, whether it's vis-a-vis investments raising, whether it's vis-a-vis your own progress and positioning. These are questions that you need to answer. Building a startup, these are questions that you need to answer. If you're a premium member, we also provide you curriculum modules to plug your knowledge gaps in each of these areas. So m.com is where you'll find all these resources. There's lots of material on the premium program and what to expect from it and how to evaluate it. There's lots of video FAQs, as I said. Now, the curriculum is a combination of video lectures and case studies, and it's available in a web self-service mode. As you are working on different areas of your business, if you're working on market sizing, if you're working on positioning, if you're working on customer acquisition strategy, you have modules that address all of that. Have the deepest selection of case studies or collection of case studies. It's over 600 entrepreneurs who have come to our forum and shared their stories with us, so that entrepreneurs coming afterwards can learn their successes, their strategies, their journeys, and their failures. So we've synthesized this deep body of case studies and experiences of early-stage entrepreneurs who have gone on to build significant companies, or you in a very well-synthesized, structured curriculum. And this curriculum is organized in set core topics: boosting, positioning, market sizing, customer validation, funding, customer acquisition, and team building. And on the elective side, we have domain-specific, industry segment-specific curriculum modules. Those are Web 3.0 and e-commerce, cloud computing and business solutions, outsourcing and consulting, mobile and social apps, healthcare IT, online education, gaming, and so forth. Methodology is bootstrapped, capital-efficient startups. So, and we are completely okay with your raising money. We are also completely okay with your not raising money. It's really up to you. But you have to understand what is fundable, what is not fundable. If you decide to raise money, then you have to become fundable. And there's a whole path of becoming fundable. We teach you all that, but we force you into a financing round, which most accelerators do. As I said, we offer you a lot of coverage. We have huge clout in the media, and we put that clout to work on your behalf. So if you go to our press page and look at the coverage of 1M1M premium members, you will see that we have generated a tremendous amount of coverage on behalf of our portfolio companies. You use our social media channel, which has extensive reach through Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and we put our Twitter channel into all of those channels. You can access quite a significant body of connections, and we encourage you to do that. We give you access. You will have full instructions. And this video, by the way, is on the website and it's available public, so you can take a look at how we let you use our channels. We give you also a lot of coverage on our blog, and we have these incubator radar series and deal radar series, which investors are monitoring. So that kind of summarizes the program. If you're a entrepreneurship development organization or a website that caters to entrepreneurs, we also have a very good affiliate program. You're welcome to use that and become a partner. We have every full week in October, on Thursday morning Pacific time, 8 a.m., we have 3 roundtables. Year 2020 is a book focused on developing economies, and it has $5 billion business ideas. You're welcome to take any of them and build it. One incubator in a box is a plan that we've launched this year that a lot of corporations and other partners are using, either launch or extend their own incubators. If you're interested in doing that, feel free to reach out to us. Even incubators in other parts of the world can use this to expand their offerings and tie deeply into Silicon Valley. We are very deeply connected into Silicon Valley. And finally, this is the newest book, The Other 99% Entrepreneurs' Fortune in the Middle of the Pyramid. Over 99% of the businesses go out to raise money get rejected. As an entrepreneur, it's important that you understand why they get rejected and how not to get rejected. So this, we believe that there is a lot more companies out there that are perfectly viable businesses that can be successful if they understood the mechanics and the logic of how this business works with financing. And this is what the new book, The Other 99% Entrepreneurs, discusses. Pretty much it. We are open for calls. If you want to and discuss anything, ask questions, make comments, you're welcome to. Also, feel free to use the public chat to ask your questions. Introduce yourself. Tell us where you're joining from. How did you hear about 1M? We have some Q&A time available today.
Sure.
Sramana, can I ask a few questions?
Go ahead, Mike.
I'm always curious about organizations like yourself and how many people in your team. I mean, I can see that by sort of paying $1,000, we get some access to the resources, sort of written resources and based resources. What actual sort of people at the end of the phone, people that we can phone up and chat to? Can you chat?
There's one-on-one consultation in 1 million by 1 million. This is in a format, but in a private setting where the combination of the curriculum for you on a web self-service mode and this kind of WebEx group mentoring sessions is how we offer the program. The only way we can make available at price point. If one-on-one sessions with me, that costs $750 an hour. We're part of the program and are using the curriculum. Otherwise, I have to go through all the basics in one format. That's not scalable.
Right. So basically, it's an online incubator in a way, an online.
The only global virtual incubator in the world.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
This is Narayan Swami. Can I ask a question?
Yes. Go ahead.
Sure. So, see, our venture, as you said, is 10-year-old, and it has, as far as revenue, it is not high, but we have substantial intellectual property and the process knowledge and connections, and the market is also opening among niche media around the world. Mm-hmm. And, of course, there are some players who received funding in the past, but they also come at a price tag, and they have to show a good return to their investors. Our venture is appropriately timed because there is a real tipping point here for the traditional media. Fordong has been escaping the blunt of the new explosion that either try to augment themselves or never really reinvented themselves with new business models and processes, fostering line of business.
Mm-hmm.
How do I make myself position to this new changing dynamic in the media marketplace?
Long answer. I'm afraid that's not something that I can handle in a 1-minute conversation.
Even 1 minute to explain to me that the market is still viable for really with the traditional media still not dead and has the user base and advertiser base.
Well, I think your first reaction to that comment is I think you're trying to take on too much. It's not going to be so simple to tie in all of these pieces. But if you can tie in all of those pieces, and my suggestion would be to prove out in talking about the Southeast Asian network. Okay, well, build up the South Asian network, both the buy side and the sell side, and show your investors what you've got and what is the potential of that particular vertical. And then you need to show what other verticals you're going to go into and what is the potential of those verticals and what your ability to service those verticals and build up a story that is that people can put their arms around. Right now you're kind of painting a little bit. You have a business, which is good. But it's a business that has not grown very fast, and investors are only investing in very fast growth businesses. Slow growth businesses need to be built organically. So you have to prove somehow that you have a fast growth business, and you have to create the case, a storyline for a fast growth business. A large TAM business is the only thing that is fundable.
Potential here to grow be a fast growth business as the marketplace changes the traditional media. Conceivably,
you work on it. There are lots of questions that you're not answering. This is a space that I know very well. I've worked with Adify, Glam, and all that for a long time ago. I've followed very closely. I know all those CEOs. Right in founded Adify, Samir Arora founded Glam, the Travel Network guy, Cree Lawson, who founded Travel. I mean, I know this industry inside out. So you are coming to a space that has lots of action. So if you want to come into a space much later in the game, you have to have a story that is sufficiently differentiated.
Now, take your case of the entrepreneurial network that you have 1 million by 1 million. You have the opportunity to create an entrepreneurial network.
That's not our business. We are not in the advertising business. That's what we do.
There are so many players in this trying to help the entrepreneurs and to do the funding, but the entire supply chain is not well connected, and they are discrete in their own way. And
I'm not disputing your value proposition. This is a value proposition that has been around for almost coming up to 10 years now. Vertical ad network value proposition first surfaced in the mid-2000 decade. So I'm not contesting value proposition at all. The value proposition is completely valid. Value proposition inside out.
Right.
If you look at my writings, you will see I've written a lot about vertical ad networks.
Sure. If you can help me out as we are beginning to expand and trying to get more prominent in so many niches that are opening.
All of you who want help from 1M are most welcome. There is 1M is a 100% inclusive program. So any of you who are interested in joining the program can join the program. You can go to the website and sign up, and we will be delighted to work with you.
Sure.
That's what exists, to help entrepreneurs like you. That is the whole point of the 1M network. Okay, I see a private comment from Artana. Stop. Your conversation late. You're working on a web portal that helps people book views for birthday party, weddings, or corporate meet. You have prepared your business plan. Okay, well, if you want to be in the, you're welcome to be in the program. I don't have enough information to say anything more than that right now. Anybody else? Any comments, questions? Anybody calling into the call?
Max again. You say sort of we sort of access to you. Is that outside of the public roundtables? Is there another sort of webinars that occur if for the members?
Tables. We have roundtables.
Private tables. How often are they?
Every week.
So a week is the standard.
Yeah, so a week. Normally on Wednesday morning, same slot. Wednesday morning, 8 a.m. Pacific time is when we do the private roundtables.
And what if I had questions between those times, between each private roundtable?
There are a bunch of different ways you can ask questions. One is in each curriculum module we have discussion areas and monitor them very closely, and all those questions are answered. And then also send emails. So understand one thing, the reason this program is working at scale is because we have anticipated a lot of your questions. We know what questions you're going to come up with. And the curriculum modules answer a huge number of those questions. So we need you to work with the curriculum, and the curriculum has, these 10-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute, 15-minute answers to a lot of the questions that you're going to come up with. In building this business, these are the questions you're going to come up with. In addition to that, whatever else you come up with, we'll be happy to answer them either in the curriculum discussion areas or by email or roundtable.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay.
One more question. Can I have a question?
Yes, sure, of course.
Say for people who want to volunteer their time and offer me advisory service, retain a small retainer fee and a percentage of the money raised, value in what we do, and how I evaluate the individuals that try to offer me help. What do we do? Evaluate them on what criteria?
Extremely dangerous, is I can tell you.
That it helps. And it's just bring real help with the people.
And if real help do you expect to get outside of the screen? People come and sit and hold your hands?
No, you said in the story what you have is good, but it is not presented well, or it can be better. How do we improve that story with what we have? That is an area of help.
For that, you don't need somebody to come and hold your hand. You need to learn how to tell a story and how to position a company. That's what we teach you. There are very few people who know how to teach you that.
Mm-hmm.
Until you get to that point, nobody can get you money. Get you money. People.
And the story, even before it is read, if they understand the context of what is being talked about, right?
I'm telling you, I have a lot of experience with fundraising. With the way you're presenting your story, it's not a fundable story. So if somebody's telling you they can raise money for you, they will fail because they know what they're talking about. So you be very careful about bringing people to raise money for you, especially paying them to raise money for you, if they're telling you that your business is currently fundable. It is not fundable currently. The thing today is not a fundable story.
Thank you.
Welcome. Shastava, sending a private message. Please, folks, do not send me private messages. This is a public chat. It's a public roundtable. Send public messages. Send to all participants. Sudip, I'm Sudip, joining from Bangalore, India. My question is how one can be an ambassador for 1M by 1M. We have currently, we basically have kind of an internship program. And if you send me an email, I will put you to Ravi. Actually, the person you need to connect with is Ravi Balusu. So So send mail with your background, maybe your LinkedIn profile and so forth, and I will connect you to Ravi, and he will give you more input on how we are handling our ambassador program. Right now, we're basically handling an internship program, since it's mostly interns who want to be ambassadors. Is that it? So the person I want to introduce you to is Irina Patterson. In the room, she will give you her contact information, and Sudeep, you can also talk to Irina if you like. Irina at 1mby1m.com, and her ID is Irina_Patterson. Any of you who are in the 1M program can also talk to Irina and get your questions answered. And you're working through your own evaluation of whether you want to work with us or not. So, Maureen, Irina, if you could put in Irina's phone number, email, Skype ID, and everything in the public chat, that would be great. Thanks a lot. Folks, anybody else? Any questions, comments? Right, in that case, I'm going to wrap up the session. Irina's contacts on the screen. You can reach out to her if you have any other questions, and we'll see you back here. Hopefully some of you are planning to come and pitch at the next upcoming sessions, and have same kind of roundtable sessions every week, all through October and November actually, except Thanksgiving. So we will see you soon. Bye everybody. Thank you very much for attending.